TV High School Football Thursday nights driven by Mountain View Nissan. Ryan Lovelace joined by Derek Morris. We are without Drew and Brittany. They're on vacation.
Yeah, I picked against Cleveland and was wrong, so my penance is I had to be here this week while the other two get off.
Yeah, I don't know how that works out, but hey, in all seriousness, shout out Cleveland. Huge upset win over Maryville. Just huge win for that program.
Oh, it is. It's one of the biggest wins they've had in 20 years.
Yeah.
So that was exciting.
Yeah, but transitioning back, Brittany and Drew, they're on fall break, along with a lot of other teams. Cleveland and Walker Valley, they're on fall break. Bradley's the only team in action. They play tonight. We have 8 games on the docket. We're going to run through 7, and then we're going to talk a little bit about Bradley. Starting off, McCallie, they're playing an out-of-state matchup. They are hosting Life Academy from Virginia. McCallie's coming in off a loss at Baylor, 31-27. They're 4-2, 1-2 on the year. They're ranked 4th in D2AA. Meanwhile, Life Christian Academy, they're the Eagles from Chester, Virginia. 8-hour trip. They are 3-3. They lost at Our Lady of Good Counsel, 36-7. That game's at 7 p.m. tomorrow night. It'll be a good one, hopefully.
I've always been a fan of Our Lady of Good Counsel. Another game on the docket here is Baylor versus Prince Avenue Christian. So Prince Avenue Christian is in Athens, Georgia, coached by Greg Vandegrift, and they are 5-0 this year. But Baylor coming off a huge win against McCallie, sitting at 6-0. So that should be someone's got to lose. So we have a game of 2 undefeated teams there.
That'll be a good one, out-of-state matchup. Also, East Hamilton at Soddy Daisy tomorrow night at 7:30. East Hamilton ranked 16th in Class 4A, coming off a big region win at Chattanooga Central, 27-10. They're 4-2, undefeated in region play, 3-0. They'll be playing an out-of-region opponent in Soddy Daisy, who is 1-5, coming off a bye week. Before that bye week, they've lost to Tyner. Soddy Daisy, they lost their first 4 games of the year before beating Sequoia, who hasn't won since 2018. East Hamilton, it is at Soddy Daisy. That will be at 7:30 tomorrow night.
Another one on the schedule here is Ray County versus Elizabethton. So Ray County is struggling this year at 1-5. It's their first 5-loss season since 2018. They had a closer game with Walker Valley. Elizabethton also kind of struggling, sitting at 2-4, but they did beat Ray County last year, and they're 2-1 in district. So Ray County still trying to put it together.
Yeah, looking to get that second win of the season in nearly week 8, which is crazy to think about. Another game tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Silverdale Baptist Academy hosting Knoxville Webb. Silverdale, they've won 4 in a row after starting the season 1-2. They won at Notre Dame last week, pitched a shutout, 35-0. But Knox Webb, they are ranked 2nd in their classification in the state. They are 6-0 on the year, 3-0 in region play. They have beat Silverdale the last 5 years. So a little bit of a David versus Goliath. Silverdale and Knox Webb tomorrow night at 7 p.m.
All right, one we're always excited about is McMinn Central versus Loudon. That'll be a 7:30 start time. McMinn Central under Matt Moody is 3-0 in district, 5-2 overall. They did beat Kingston last week. And it's a big region game because whoever wins this is in control of their destiny here. Loudon Redskins, they're 4-3, 1-2, but they have beat McMinn Central 5 straight times. So McMinn's going to try to end that streak, I guess, Friday night.
So staying in McMinn County tonight at 7:30, McMinn County hosting Sweetwater. This will be an interesting game, a battle of 5A versus 3A. McMinn County, they're ranked 14th in Class 5A, led by Bo Cagle, coming in off a bye week where before that they beat East Hamilton 29-20. They're 4-2. They're undefeated in region play. They beat Sweetwater last year. Meanwhile, this is a different Sweetwater team. They're ranked 5th in Class 3A. They beat Signal Mountain last week, 35-32. Absolutely crazy game. They're 5-1 on the year. They lost week 1 and they've rattled off 5 straight. They're undefeated in their region, and they're looking for their first 6-win season since 2019. That is tonight at 7:30. Those are all the games we have outside of Bradley County. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about Bradley Central hosting Ooltewah. You're watching MixedTV High School Football Thursday nights, driven by Mountain View Nissan. We'll be right back.
We're here at Mountain View Nissan of Cleveland.
We are here with great service.
We're here. We're here.
We're here.
We're here with great deals.
We're here for you.
So come get huge Nissan savings when you shop Mountain View Nissan of Cleveland and Cleveland-Nissan today. Home of the exclusive lifetime warranty.
L&B Appliance is your one-stop appliance shop and HVAC dealer. Locally owned and operated, serving this area for over 30 years. They offer sales and service. L&B Appliance, located on Durkee Road at Highway 64 in Cleveland, 423-339-3231. L&B Appliance, large enough to meet all your home appliance needs, small enough to appreciate your business.
So Lynn, tell me about your experience at Chattanooga Auto Square.
We have been thrilled with the service, and we wouldn't dream of shopping anywhere else.
They take the time to show you everything and work with you. The salespeople there were excellent.
It's been good working with Tim and also with the people in service.
Luxury lives here.
And that is correct.
Chattanooga Auto Square. Luxury lives here.
Hands. You might think they're just for waving, but they can be used for all kinds of things, like making made-from-scratch biscuits at Hardee's.
Bite into the new 2 for $5 breakfast deal only at Hardee's.
Remember Me Senior Care is Cleveland's first assisted living and memory care neighborhood. They specialize in assisted living for those who are still active, with a community of indoor and outdoor activities. They also provide memory care living for those who are facing life with dementia. Learn more online at remembermesc.com or call their office and set up an in-person visit at 423-473-3140. Remember Me Senior Care, a culture of care your loved one deserves.
This is Thomas Williams with Mountain View Nissan of Cleveland. Stop by today and take advantage of Bradley County's largest pre-owned inventory, or visit cleveland-nissan.com, home of the lifetime warranty.
Wholesale Supply Group, you've heard the name for years. The experts trust them, and you should too. Whether you're building, remodeling, or just maintaining your home, Wholesale Supply Group has all the plumbing, electrical, and HVAC products you need to supply any project. With great brands like Delta, Kohler, Rinnai, Mansfield, Progress Lighting, Square D, GE, and Milwaukee, Wholesale Supply has everything you need. Check out the locations in Cleveland, Chattanooga, Athens, Dayton, Madisonville, Dalton, and Chatsworth. Online, wholesalesupply.us. And remember, Wholesale Supply is open to the public.
Welcome back to the MixTV.tv High School Football Thursday nights driven by Mountain View Nissan. Ryan Lovelace joined by Derek Morris. We just talked about the 7 games we got going on in the area. Now we're going to talk about our 8th and final game, which is Bradley hosting Ooltewah. That game is tonight at 7 p.m. First off, Derek, Bradley coming in off a loss at Bearden, their first loss of the year. Where does that sort of put the Bears, you know?
You know, Bradley's funny because the way we've talked and the way we've seen them play, they're almost, you feel like they're a 500 team, but that was their first loss, so they're sitting at 5-1. You know, they made the quarterback change, which worked well for a game. They got injuries they're dealing with, so it's interesting to see where Bradley goes from here. They got an opponent that on paper they shouldn't have a problem with, even with some injuries, and then I guess they'll have a bye week coming up, or have they already had their bye? They already had their bye. So they're just trying to get healthy and get things going into the playoffs. So it's interesting, I guess, to see how they respond playing against a quote inferior opponent.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Ooltewah, they come in 1-5. They just got their first win last week versus Howard, who is, you know, winless on the year. How about the Ooltewah Owls picking up their first win?
It's a big win for them. I mean, I think James Manning, it's his first year to be a head coach, so that first win means a lot. I mean, whatever sport it is. So that's good for Coach Manning. Ooltewah is an uphill battle, so we'll see. Meanwhile,
if you look at Bradley sort of shifting out, if you're a Bradley fan, if you see somebody from Cleveland, give them a thank you, because since Cleveland beat Maryville, that Bradley-Maryville game is still set up to where if both of them win out, that's your region championship.
Yeah, it's Cleveland's win, besides the excitement of the air, it made a big muddle at the top of the bracket. Yeah. So nothing's clear cut. There's a lot of teams that suddenly have life.
Yeah, so we were talking about it, sort of how Cleveland could somehow win with a 4-way tie, and a lot of tiebreakers and craziness happened. But you said it yourself, Cleveland could also be eliminated.
Right.
So just a lot of craziness in Region 2 6A. This is not a region game. It's an out-of-region game. Bradley hosting Ooltewah tonight. the opposite records. They're flipped. Bradley's 5-1, Ooltewah's 1-5, and you think Bradley playing on their fall break sort of does anything negatively for them?
You're dealing with high school kids, and I know you're not far from it, but I am. And you never know how you're going to get response you're going to get. You would hope they're going to come in, take care of business. Maybe playing it Thursday night helps so they can have the weekend. So you just don't know. I mean, Damon Floyd's always done a good job of keeping his guys focused, which is why even though they're struggling, they're still 5-1. So I don't think it's going to make that big a difference for them.
Well, that game is tonight. Bradley is hosting Ooltewah, 7 p.m. at Bear Stadium. So, you know, if you're watching this, you want to go see some football, head on out. You can listen to it on Talk 101.3 at The Buzz. That is your only game in the area. We mentioned fall break. That is why Drew and Brittany aren't here. But don't be afraid, because we have their absentee picks coming up right after the break. We got 8 games. We're going to pick them, me and Derek, and then we're going to give you what Brittany and Drew said after this break. You're watching the MixTV.tv High School Football Thursday nights, driven by Mountain View Nissan. We'll be right back.
From Lookout Mountain to Cleveland, from Red Bank to Collegedale, luxury lives here.
Chattanooga Auto Square is your home for premium luxury automobiles.
And we have the largest selection in all of Chattanooga of pre-owned vehicles from every major brand.
Chattanooga Auto Square, Jaguar, Land Rover, Porsche, Infiniti.
Luxury lives here.
The ability to try a criminal case in front of a jury is one of the most important skills a lawyer can have. Make sure you hire a lawyer that can do it. The law offices of Stephen Hatchett are here for your criminal needs in Athens, Cleveland, and surrounding areas. Contact their offices at 423-290-7698 or message them at facebook.com/Hatchett Law.
L&B Appliance is your one-stop appliance shop and HVAC dealer. Locally owned and operated, serving this area for over 30 years. They offer sales and service. L&B Appliance, located on Durkee Road at Highway 64 in Cleveland, 423-339-3231. L&B Appliance, large enough to meet all your home appliance needs, small enough to appreciate your business.
Anna, can you count to 5 without saying 1 or 3?
Sure, 2, 4, 5.
That's right. Our big story is the 2 for $5 breakfast deal at Hardee's.
You got me.
I know, I did.
Bite into our made-from-scratch biscuits today.
This is Thomas Williams with Mountain View Nissan of Cleveland. Stop by today and take advantage of Bradley County's largest pre-owned inventory, or visit cleveland-nissan.com, home of the lifetime warranty.
Welcome back to the MixTV.tv High School Football Thursday nights, driven by Mountain View Nissan. Ryan Lovelace joined by Derek Morris. We've talked about 8 games in our area, and you know, as we do every week, we're going to go ahead and pick them, and we have absentee picks from Drew and Brittany.
We can switch them if we don't like them, right?
Yeah, they'll never know. But first, we're going to talk about our records last week. So first, you know, it's funny, Brittany's not here. She had the best record last week. She went 8-2. Drew followed her up with a 7-3, and then me and you, Derek, were tied at 6-4.
That's why we're here today, I guess. We have to be here.
The biggest losers today. You and Brittany are tied in last place, or I guess technically, if you want to be technical, second place at 43-23.
I like that better.
Yeah, and then me and Drew are tied at 47-19 in first place. We got 8 games this week, and we're going to jump in and pick them right now. Tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, McCallie, they're hosting Life Academy from Chester, Virginia. That is an 8-hour trip. We'll see if that affects them in any way. McCallie looking for a bounce-back win. You think they get it?
Yeah, I think McCallie definitely gets a bounce back win. I mean, Life Christian lost to Our Lady of Good Counsel the week before, so I'm putting McCallie Blue Tornadoes with a big win.
Yeah, I'm giving it to McCallie as well. Like you mentioned, a loss to Baylor sounds a lot more legit than a loss to Our Lady of Good Counsel. Brittany's going with McCallie as well, the reigning champ from last week. And then Drew is also going with McCallie. He says they bounced back with a big win, so podium sweep there for McCallie. Meanwhile, the team that beat McCallie last week, Baylor, they're hosting Prince Avenue Christian Academy from Georgia. Baylor's ranked second in D2AA. They're 6-0, battle of undefeateds. Prince Avenue Christian, the Wolverines, they're 5-0. We don't know much about them. Are you sticking with your Chattanooga gut here?
This is a tough one because Baylor has kind of been amped up for the McCallie game, and they got what they wanted. They won, so now is there that letdown game.
Yeah.
A team that's 3 hours away in Georgia who's 5-0. They won 47-17 last week against Mary Persons, whoever that is, but 47 points is 47 points. So I got to go Baylor, though. I still think Baylor.
I agree. We don't know much about Prince Avenue Christian. They could come in and shock us, but they could also, lose by 30 points.
Right.
I mean, you never know with 5-0 teams till you do a deep dive, and we did not do a deep dive. Baylor at home, I'm taking Baylor. Brittany, she's also going with Baylor. Drew, he says Baylor wins again. They want to be the real prince of the area. Give me the Red Raiders. So another podium sweep here for us. East Hamilton at Soddy Daisy. That is tomorrow night at 7:30. East Hamilton ranked 16th in Class 4A. They're coming off a win at Chattanooga Central. Meanwhile, Soddy Daisy, they're coming in off a bye week. They're 1-5 this year. They have struggled so far. What are you looking at?
East Hamilton's only losses have been out of region, and they've played some tough teams in that. So they're 3-0 in region. Soddy Daisy has struggled at 1-5, 1-2 in region. I think East Hamilton wins this one going away.
Yeah, it's a road game, but it doesn't matter. I think East Hamilton wins big. Brittany also going with East Hamilton. And Drew, he says East Hamilton will absolutely crush Soddy. He said Soddy should ask for a running clock before the game starts. So once again,
maybe some tension there. I don't know.
Yeah, all four of us. Nobody's faded anybody yet.
Yeah.
This is an interesting one. Ray County hosting Elizabethton. Ray County 1-5 this year, loss versus Walker Valley 25-14. Meanwhile, Elizabethton, they're a few years removed from a state championship title. But they're 2-4 this year. They're coming in off a win versus Sullivan East 55-27. They beat Ray County last year, but this game is at Ray County. So, you can read between the lines and figure out what that means. Does that affect your pick in any way?
Well, I think Ray County, we were waiting to see if they ever were going to kind of find their mark. And after 6 games, I think we see what the mark is, which is 1-5.
Yeah.
So Elizabethton is 2-4. They did win last year against Ray County. And they scored 55 points last week. So I'm going the Fighting Cyclones over Ray County.
I like it. Yeah, talking about the offense from Elizabethton, Ray County's offense, 14 points against Walker Valley last week, 3 points against Red Bank the week before. They're struggling with the wing tee to put points on the board. Give me the Fighting Cyclones. Brittany, also going with the Fighting Cyclones. Drew, he says Elizabethton wins easily and Ray's struggles continue. So again,
sweep.
All four of us are perfectly in line through 4 matchups. Silverdale Baptist Academy versus Knox Webb. Silverdale, they beat Notre Dame last week 35-0. They're 5-2 on the year. They've won 4 in a row. Knox Webb, though, they beat Grace Christian last week 21-0. They're 6-0, 3-0 in region play, ranked second in D2AA, and they beat Silverdale in each of the last 5 years. What are you looking at?
Well, I finally got a Silverdale pick right last week, and I think I'll be right again this week by saying Knox Webb beats them probably pretty soundly.
Yep, Silverdale, really good team last year, and they still couldn't muster up a win against Knox Webb. So, I think I'm going to go with Knox Webb as well. Brittany, she is going with Knox Webb. And Drew never disappoints. He's breaking the streak. He's going with Silverdale. He says they're clicking and they continue to win against Knox Webb.
All right.
Moving on, the only region game we have on the docket, McMinn Central hosting Loudon 7:30 tomorrow night. That is McMinn Central's homecoming. The Chargers, they are ranked in the Class 3A poll 16th. They're coming in off a region win at Kingston. They're 5-2, 3-0 in region play. It's a big region game. They control their own destiny in region play. They got to pick up a win here. Meanwhile, Loudon, they're coming in with a loss at Brainerd, a team McMinn Central beat earlier this year. They're 4-3, 1-2, but they have won 5 in a row against McMinn Central.
Well, here's how I view this. Loudon has won 5 straight against McMinn. And I don't like to pick teams on their homecoming because I feel like there's just too much nonsense going on besides football. And I've not been on the Matt Moody train yet. However, the fact that Loudon lost to Brainerd last week, I got to go McMinn Central.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like that loss at Brainerd has really just sort of, it's kind of tainted my view on them because Brainerd is not the strongest team this year, and McMinn Central beat Brainerd pretty handily. So I think I'm going to go with McMinn Central as well. Brittany going with McMinn Central. Drew going with McMinn Central, completing the sweep. He says Matt Moody and McMinn Central get their signature win over Loudon. On the other side of McMinn County, they're hosting Sweetwater tonight at 7:30. McMinn County's ranked 14th in the Class 3A poll. Sweetwater's ranked 14th in the Class 5A poll. Sweetwater's ranked 5th in the Class 3A poll. So 5A versus 3A there. McMinn County coming in off a bye week. They beat East Hamilton 2 weeks ago. They're 4-2. They beat Sweetwater last year. Sweetwater 5-1 though. They lost their opener and they've won 5 in a row. They're looking for their first 6-win season since 2019. Do you think that happens this week?
It could. This is a good game, I think. It's one of the better ones for the week. Sweetwater's playing really well. McMinn County was one team that early on was up and down, struggled, and I feel like they've kind of hit their stride. So I'm going to go McMinn County on this one.
Yeah, I think McMinn County's hit their stride. I think Sweetwater will compete with them till about halftime, midway through the third quarter. But the 5A versus 3A discrepancy when it comes to depth and size,
absolutely,
I think weighs it in McMinn County's favor.
Yep.
Brittany, she's going with McMinn County. And Drew says it's a closer game than people think, but McMinn County's depth and strength overpowers Sweetwater. Lastly, our big one, Bradley Central versus Ooltewah. That is tonight at 7 o'clock. You can listen to it on 101.3 The Buzz. The Owls, they're 1-5 this year, coming off their first win of the year. Bradley 5-1 this year, coming off their first loss of the year. Bradley, get back on track.
There's not a lot to talk about here. Yes, I think Bradley wins big. Walker Valley won't lose this week, so they'll be happy. And Cleveland's still celebrating their win last week.
I think Bradley wins big. Brittany says Bradley wins big. And Drew says Bradley wins big.
Oh, I thought he said Ooltewah right there.
I wish I could change it. We got to fudge the numbers on something a little more believable. Drew concluded his message with saying, shout out to Cleveland and Coach Wheeler for the amazing win over Maryville. He said, and I quote, I apologize for not believing in the Blue Raiders, just like Derek didn't believe in them.
Yeah. Dr. Dyer, since you called me out the next day, I apologize. I did not pick Cleveland. I will pick them the rest of the year.
Yep, I'm with that. I'm picking Cleveland this week as well for what it's worth. They're not losing to the bye week. But that concludes our show tonight. We should be back at full force next week. We talked about earlier, a lot of Hamilton County schools are on fall break, so maybe a lighter load as well. But as for us, this concludes our MixedTV.tv High School Football Thursday nights driven by Mountain View Nissan. From all of us here at the station, Gideon Ratcliffe producing, Derek Morris, Ryan Lovelace, Brittany Jackson, Drew Linus, wherever they are. Have a great night, everybody, and have a good weekend.